It's happy hour again for the last time in 2015.
Wow.
From Uptown New Orleans, hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and you pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you fixing a harmonica. What you do know is no matter what they look like, what they're wearing, whether they just got out of a limousine or just got out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you. Because that's New Orleans and this is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation with folks who have nothing in common, other than we're all New Orleanians in a bar today. We're at the fabulous Wayfair on Ferret Street, where they put fine booze into a glass for 3 hours every happy hour, and fine dining into a sandwich. They make sandwiches here that are based on fine dining, and they taste awesome. So what have we got here? I see today we have special treats for Christmas that were made for us by our photographer, Allison Moon. There.
Allison.
Thank you, Allison.
Thanks, Allison.
They're very nice. They're homemade
great.
brownies and homemade sugar cookies.
Awesome.
They're very good. We've tasted some already. Try it. So dig in, you guys.
Yeah, okay.
So Luke Winslow King is back to visit us. Good to see you again. Luke, I haven't seen you since we've been here at Wayfair, actually.
Good to see you too, my friend. Glad to be back. Thanks for having me.
And so you're fixing your harmonica like on the fly with a little optical type screwdriver and tiny wee screws that I've never even known that were in there. What are you fixing, actually?
Well, harmonicas have reeds and sometimes they get stuck. And I want it, sometimes you're, like when you go to whistle and you blow and it doesn't make any sound.
Yeah.
That's what happens if you don't fix it.
What does a reed look like? It's like a little vibrating...
Just a metal reed. Yep.
Right. And it vibrates when you blow it into it, and that's what causes it to make the sound.
Mm-hmm. There's a stack for the blows and there's a stack for the
Oh, really?
pulls.
Okay.
Yeah.
So which one got stuck? What note?
I'll perform
Let's see if
for
it
you.
works. Okay. That's the one that doesn't work?
Yeah, that's the one.
So you didn't fix it?
Yeah.
Okay, can you try shaking it or anything?
Grant, usually you give me more advance notice for this show.
What
If you
happened?
had told me before yesterday, I would have been up all night.
You could have been up all night
Fixing
fixing
my
the harmonica.
harmonicas.
Right.
Don't you have like a whole bunch of them in like a bandolero
I
type
do,
thing?
but they're in different keys.
Okay, so this is when we need one particular key for...
Yep.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, Luke, I have to ask you because I've run into this problem myself
Yeah.
occasionally, and it not until about 2 months ago did I successfully fix a reed. Maybe I wasn't trying the right things, but I finally, fixed one maybe 2 months ago. But what's your success rate when a reed goes out and you start futzing with it?
This is Andrew Duhon, ladies and gentlemen, in case you're wondering.
And Andrew and I don't get a chance to talk about things like this other
Right.
than on your show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
this is a
so
good
now's
time
our-
to
now's
get
our
into
chance.
get into the weeds about harmonica repair. Let's go. Okay, so Luke, what's
in there.
the answer to the question?
It's about a 25% success rate.
Okay.
Yep. I had 4 reeds that were stuck. I just fixed one of them.
So you, like me, probably have like what looks like a tackle box full of broken harmonicas that you're afraid to throw away because you feel like somehow
One day
they
you're
can
going
be
to fix
salvaged.
them.
Yeah,
And
And how much do they cost to buy one of these things?
like $35 a piece.
I started buying the
pretty
expensive ones that cost almost twice that.
Yeah,
And they
Which one?
still break.
They still break, but it takes longer.
That's
for them to
good.
break.
What's the life of a harmonica?
Depends on if you know how to fix them well or not.
Well, before they break.
Depends on how
Okay, I'm not
meticulous you
I'm
are
not
about
asking
cleaning
more.
them after the show.
Oh, okay. So there's
I
how
don't. I'd say like 2 or 3 months.
That's it. Really, that's like a butterfly or something, isn't it? Valley Rich is here too, talking to butterflies. Hi, Valley. Thanks for
What's
coming
up?
on.
Thank you for having me.
You also brought a guitar. Are you going to play something as well?
Yes,
Okay. Are you a singer-songwriter too?
I am. I'm a
Okay.
musician as of the spring.
As of which spring?
This spring,
And how long-
2015.
2015. So
Yes.
that's this year. So how long is that? 3 months? No.
No,
6 months.
About.
Oh, so you've been a musician for 6 months.
Uh-huh.
Did you just start writing songs 6 months ago?
Well, I always sang in the shower and stuff like that, but
Mm-hmm.
never wanted to sing publicly. And I didn't know how to
Where's
play
the
guitar.
shower?
Whichever shower I happened to be
Because
in.
wherever you are, you're
right,
singing.
at that
Okay.
moment.
All right.
But I never picked up any instruments. I was a
No,
dancer.
well, I get where. Are you a dancer?
I was a dancer. I got injured, and I was just
What
home.
happened? What happened to you?
Oh, I fractured a couple vertebrae and messed up my SI joint. I was pretty intense.
Can't we stay up there? Hey, Renee Maggio is here as well. Hey, Renee.
Hello
So-
everyone.
So you've messed up a couple of vertebrae in what joint?
SI, sacroiliac joint.
It's in your back.
That's the joint that connects your hip bone to your spine, so it's really important.
Hip bone's connected to the thigh bone, actually.
Right, but right in the middle, the hip and the spine, the tailbone, I guess, the center
The
of everything.
tailbone's connected. I don't think the tailbone's in it. Is it?
Not in
the
the
hip
song,
bone's
no.
connected to the thigh bone. The thigh bone's
Right.
connected to the knee bone. So which one did you fuck up? The
SI joint. It's a
SI
joint.
joint.
Yeah, it's a very important joint.
well, this
the
sounds
most complex.
painful.
Oh, it was terrible. It
So
was
what
definitely
actually
the worst
happened?
pain. So I was a dancer. I danced for LSU. I was a Tiger Girl.
Tiger Girl.
And we compete nationally with hip hop and jazz. We do a lot of very intense tricking and.
What are you doing? Is like when you're on people's shoulders and so on?
At some points it's hip hop. So if you've seen, hip hop gets kind of crazy. Head spins, flips, head springs, back flips. Like anything you can think of. Little girls just bouncing around and trying to impress people is what. Most
this is in
dance teams
college?
do. Yeah, college
Okay.
dancing.
Is this a course in college?
No, it's
This is
a
extracurricular.
no. Oh yeah, it's extra. You have to
Tiger Girl.
audition. We're under the athletic department for LSU,
Okay.
so you have to audition and all that stuff.
So who's the sort of like, is he a choreographer or is it a coach or what?
When I was on the team, there was a coach, Denise Deshari. She rocks. She
Yeah.
kind of created.
You know Denise?
You know
Andrew?
Denise?
I do.
Very cool. How do you know her?
Yeah.
Let's see. How do I put this together? My aunt is, my uncle, sorry, Denise, is brothers with her. No, I'm going to get this wrong.
Some sort of
Cousins with her
family.
father? Something like that, yeah.
Something
So
like
she's
that.
related to you, Denise Desharia.
Right.
She is a visionary. She created a dynasty out of the LSU Tiger Girls, and that was the years that I got to.
The LSU Tiger Girls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what are we wearing in the LSU Tiger Girls? Like leotard type things or cheerleader type outfits or what?
I would say I guess it's different according to whatever dance we did.
Okay, so it's a real dance troupe. There's nothing to do with the sports team.
We were very technical. What we would do is we would dance for LSU basketball and baseball, and then they would put us under the athletic department, and then LSU would fund us going and traveling to compete nationally for hip hop and jazz and things that we really enjoyed doing on a
So-
more technical level.
So are you opening for a sports team? You're opening for the baseball team, or you're opening for the basketball team or something?
Yes.
So it's part of the show.
They do that. Yeah, that's part of the show.
But you're
It's
not the
kinda year-round.
cheerleaders. You're not a
No.
cheerleader. It's
No.
real dance. Okay. So what happened when the accident occurred?
It was just years of really intense, rigorous training, and my senior year nationals for hip hop. About a week before, we were just doing tricks, and we were actually doing the dance over and over again, kind of preparing, just running it. And I did a trick, and I just felt my body just like I just knew it. I was like, I'm done. I am done for a long time.
What was the trick?
It's really difficult to explain. With words.
Are you
but
upside down or
yeah,
jumping?
The beginning of the pain was we did a little human jump rope type thing. So I was lifting a girl my size, like throwing her in the air kind of with someone else. And then the other one was more of a backflip where while I was flipping backwards, somebody on the ground held onto my legs and my legs pulled them up. And then I rolled on my stomach and pushed myself up in a plank with my leg in the air, and they stood on my neck and held my leg as a pole. It's pretty ridiculous, but it was badass. It looked
That doesn't
tight.
sound like it could do much damage. So someone's standing on your neck while you're doing a plank and sticking your leg up in the air.
It looked sick, though. It was great. And I had a great team get me
Denise
through
came
it.
up with that move.
Yes, Denise came up with the
Jesus, I'm surprised you didn't
shit.
sue her.
Oh, no. She rocks. I chose to do it, and for me it was...
Someone standing on your neck while you're lying on the ground.
That's
doing
what
a plank
dancers
with
do,
you.
though. Because
Someone
here's the
stands
thing.
on your neck right there, I think is...
Dancers don't get
Slight
enough
issue.
respect, so they just go out of their way to figure out a way to, impress people so people understand how hard it is to be a dancer. But we did a
And
lot
all
of
that
cool
did
shit.
was screw up your whole entire life for the future.
But at least it looked
No, not
good.
really.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what would you have done if you hadn't got injured?
Had I not gotten injured, I would have continued. I'd have been a professional dancer.
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say.
And
so
I
wouldn't
never
you
would
call
have-
that screwed up?
Well, no, because now I'm a musician and an actor and
You've
a film
only been a
producer.
musician since the spring.
Yeah, but I'm really good. It's going to be
So
fine.
when did you have this accident?
Accident was February of 2014, and I spent a year doing a lot of rehab because I wanted to kind of continue as a dancer. And then after about a year, I knew it wasn't going to happen. So that's when
Right.
I picked up a guitar, taught myself guitar, started singing, and now I love music, so I'm okay.
So you taught yourself a guitar and you turned yourself into a musician
Yeah.
between then and now.
Yeah.
So you started playing guitar just,
Probably like
6 months ago.
March of 2015.
and you've written a song,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to play it right now.
Right now, you want me to?
What,
Sure.
what about it?
I say, yeah.
Let's do it. Okay.
Let's do it.
Do you need some brownies or another drink before?
She needs her guitar.
No, I'll be okay.
We need a guitar. Okay, and this is a beautiful looking guitar too. Where'd you get this from? Very groovy.
My dad bought me this
Ah.
because he felt bad for me because I couldn't dance anymore.
Where did he get it? Do you know? Does he live here? Where are you from?
I'm from Mandeville, and there's a little music store in Mandeville that I found it at.
Okay, cool. What's it called? We might as well tell him.
Dean? It's a Dean.
Dean, the guitar. What's the music store called?
I want to say it's C&M, but I could be
Could
wrong.
be way off. Could be GNC.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
No, it's C&M.
C&M's right. Yeah.
It is CNN. How do you know that, Renee?
Because I live in Covington.
Do you really?
Weird.
Okay. You spend much time over at the CNN music store
I
there?
pass it every once in a while, but
You don't play anything?
No,
Okay.
I have the idea to play. I just don't have the talent.
You will. You just gotta wait till it comes out.
Just got to wait till you have a life-threatening neck injury. Or no, CSI joint.
SI joint, yeah. God, it's a bitch. It is a bitch.
It is. That's the wrong
Yeah.
kind of joint to have injured. And so how are you in pain anymore, or is it all over now?
Unfortunately, yeah, I've
Still in
gotten
pain?
probably every injection you can imagine. I recently got an injection about a month ago, and they had to put me under anesthesia for it. It was huge. Like, the needle was so big that I saw the puncture wounds afterwards. I could see them. And
Was
I mean,
this at,
I
at
was
a doctor
numb.
or a veterinarian?
Doctor, a hospital or whatever. But
Holy crap. Really?
it was about a week of numbness. So I was like, oh, sweet, like it's working. And then after about a week, it was like, nah, it's not gonna work.
So you're in pain
It's-
right now?
I guess I've
you
had a
think
couple of
about it.
drinks. I mean, I'm
Right.
I'm sitting.
Well, you're not driving back to Mandeville or anything, are you?
But I'm sitting and I've just kind of cut everything out. Like, I don't do anything but walk. Like, I'm very, very cautious with my
Right.
body, and I try not to inflame it as much as I
And what
can.
kind of drugs are you on?
Drugs, marijuana. But I wouldn't call that a drug. I call that more of like a medicinal plant that God gave me. But that's really what I use to heal myself.
Really? I don't think the state of Louisiana approves of that. I don't
Do
think- Do they?
I don't know.
We don't have medicinal weed here.
No,
We ought to know.
They should.
not yet. I don't think so. No, I mean,
They should, Renee.
We should.
I spent years on so many drugs, pharmaceutical after pharmaceutical, and it just honestly fucked
Years.
me
I
up.
thought this only happened like a year ago.
Well, with multiple different things. So I had been on pharmaceuticals for other reasons, and then
Right, recreation.
well, no, not at all, but like, you know, pharmaceuticals for mental things, right? And then I got the injury, and they were like, oh, well, on top of all the shit you're taking, go ahead and take the oxycodone and the muscle relaxer and all this. And it just was
Wow.
a couple years of really just not,
So
I mean,
you're
not
on
living.
like anti-anxiety or
No, I've gotten off of
medication.
every
So
pharmaceutical.
You got yourself off of all that.
Yeah. And
Well,
now
let's find out how you got off of all that once we hear you play the
Okay.
song. What is the song? What do you decide to play?
the song is called All to Yourself. And I just like that name, so that's what it's called. I can't
Okay.
really hear my guitar.
Can
Can
you-
you hear me from this far away?
Let's see. Andrew will hook up a mic over here for you. Here we go.
I wish we were home again, getting out the shower. You were begging for a song. I picked the one that says I love you after every line. And what in the world do I do with me, hun? 'Cause I got so much power, all this talent and ambition, but I got no one to hold me at night. Did you dance with someone else? Come home, I want you all to myself. I guess I thought I'd have you back by now. I guess I thought you'd come home. 'Cause I wish I was playing for you face to face. Instead I'll make music and believe me, you're my muse. I'll just keep recording, hoping one day you'll be calling, saying, baby, I'm so sorry. Yes, I never really heard ya, and I wish I never heard you, but now that I heard you playing on the radio, I figured I could listen, 'cause I haven't given you a minute since I blew up and got famous. And I let you go. Did you dance for someone else? I'm coming home, I want you all to myself. So you can play this song for me face to face. I guess I thought you'd moved on by now, so I didn't want you to know. I still can't dream without you, I just don't know how. Anywhere in your arms is my home. Won't you play that song for me face to face? And I won't dance for no one else. If If you come home, you can have me all to yourself.
All right. Valley Rich. Is that the first public performance of that song?
Yes.
All right.
I
Well,
wrote that like 3 weeks ago.
Maybe you heard it here first, everybody.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Are you self-taught or did you take lessons?
Oh, I 100% taught myself, for sure. Not that I wouldn't want lessons. I was just really broke when I got a guitar. I was like, I'm just going to look this up online and try to...
You taught yourself to play the guitar off of YouTube or something.
Well, what I did was looked up the chords, because when you look up like a song, it'll say G, C. It said these like chords over it. And so then I looked up where to put your fingers to make those chords, and then I just do with my fingers. I don't know.
Okay.
That's it. I'm new. I'll get better.
You just move your fingers up and down, and how do you know what to do with your right hand?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, that was your chord. The chords are playing with your left hand.
Yeah, but-
How do you know what to do with your right hand?
I don't know. I just...
Well, you get a lesson from these two guys here.
That would be great.
Super
I mean,
great
that would be
guitar
great.
players.
I think for that song, like usually when you learn something, I'd learn the strum pattern. But for that song, I feel like it's more just like
Where's Andrew's guitar? Right?
little
Andrew will teach you.
raindrops. Andrew,
No,
thank you.
see, this is the problem here in Lies. I started the same way, and I don't know theoretically why I do what I do, but I guess you could say just like dancing, you could either take dance lessons or you could just move the way that the music makes you move, and
Right.
maybe you got the groove and maybe you don't. But Luke over here could certainly teach you, because Luke knows a thing or two about the theory behind.
Right. Yeah, I've
know.
never learned the technical side. Like as a dancer,
Sure.
I'm technical, but as a musician, I'm just like trying to sound cool,
Luke, what would you advise you to do with the right hand on that song?
It seemed like your natural inclination was serving you right.
Yeah.
It's completely subjective when it's your own original song. But finger picking is a whole world, and there's a way to do it. But I've kind of made up some of my own techniques that serve me well too. But if you wanted to study it, there's definitely a way to do it. Yeah.
When I get rich, I'll take lessons. That's what I'm gonna do.
You could look it up online too.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
there's so much on
Yeah.
YouTube these days. Yeah.
You could buy a $7 book that would probably serve you really
And
well.
I think what's
Great, thank
nice, about the whole YouTube thing and being able to take a quick 30-second lesson on just a tiny little piece of something, it can, make, the 3-chord song that you've been playing that feels tired now, all of a sudden it makes it vibrant again, and the music sounds musical to you again, and it becomes inspiring again. And I think when you're trying to be creative with a guitar, and you are kind of, basing it around what is a fairly simple form, I am most of the time, I think learning something new, a way to play those 3 chords a different way, or, something like that. And that's oversimplifying it, but I do think that YouTube is a nice tool to just check out a new discipline or watch somebody else play, and that can be really helpful for writing something new.
Watching other people play probably is a great way to learn, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys do that, Luke? Do you see other people play and are inspired by what someone else is doing?
Yeah, I mean, now I kind of try to isolate myself a little bit more. But when I was really serious about studying guitar, I spent hours and hours watching videos and watching people in person.
And what are you isolating yourself so you don't pick up other people's habits?
Yes.
Really?
Like at a certain point in your career, you just really have to develop your own style, and part of that is not
Right.
listening or paying attention to what anyone else is doing.
Right.
How interesting. So you actually consciously stop yourself looking at what other people are doing or listening to what other people are doing.
If I'm inspired to go to a concert, or if I'm somewhere and someone else is playing, I try to absorb it as much as I can, but I don't.
Seek it out.
Yeah,
necessarily.
Right.
I don't buy records. I don't really go to shows.
Well, nobody's
unless
buying
I'm-
records anymore, so you're not alone
I
there.
don't really go to concerts much unless I'm there playing, or a
Right.
festival unless I'm playing.
So when
it's
would
not
you...
that I don't care about other people's music. It's just that's not my focus right now.
But
Do
I
you-
think
yeah.
Grant, I think what's important about what's Luke saying in my mind is it's kind of like, deciding that you're going to go out into the wilderness and make your own camp. You have to learn the survival skills before you're going to make it out there creatively, I think. You have to learn the rules before you decide, okay, now I know the rules, and I'll venture out on my own and see what I find, how I can make my own rules, so to speak. So I think, Luke, would you agree maybe in the idea that you have to kind of be inspired first before you start to realize which direction you want to go, and then just go that way,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there was times where I was just starving for it. You know, when I was a kid, when I was really, you know, in my early teen years, I was like obsessed with learning guitar. That's all I did. You know, every day, all the time. I like watched the Led Zeppelin "Song Remains the Same" video until it wore out. I'm just watching Jimmy Page just like over and over. You know, and I had 3 friends, and we all took guitar lessons weekly, and then we would get together and teach each other what each other learned in each other's lessons. So it was like 3 guitar lessons a week.
Right.
So we were just like,
That's
you
great.
know, when I was a kid, that's all I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I studied different things all through college and like go through like different phases of almost obsession of learning certain things. And now my thing is just like really spending a lot of time alone, really focusing on writing and getting to know myself and really staying on the road a lot and really focusing a lot on, you know, music business, building a career.
So
and
you
the
feel
following.
like you have the guitar playing down now? There's nothing.
Definitely not. I definitely am learning stuff all
Right.
the time. I have a guitar maestro who I play in a band with in Europe, and I learn a lot of stuff from him all the time.
Right.
But he's like someone I play in a band with, so I do definitely watch him, but not, you know.
Are you playing in his band? Or
He
you?
plays in my band. He's my lead guitar player when I tour in Europe.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have a different band over there.
I have a couple different cast members that I use over there.
So are you leaving someone behind here and replacing?
No, he is not allowed in the States. If he were,
Why
he's
is
been
that?
deported. He lived here for 10 years and he got deported for
No
overstaying
way.
his visa.
Shame.
His name's Roberto Lutti. He's one of the greatest slide guitar players in the world.
Wasn't he here in New Orleans?
He lived here for 10 years. He worked for the
Right.
Washboard Jazz Trio.
Yeah, right. That's where I know him.
Yeah.
And he got deported.
He did, just
And
for
he-
overstaying his visa.
Shame.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I mean, can't you get back in with an immigration attorney? Isn't there someone?
He's tried many times and been denied.
What did he do wrong? Did he kill somebody?
He just overstayed his visa.
Nothing. He just overstayed his
9 years on a 3-month visa.
9 years. That's cool, though. I mean, think positively. You did a great job, man.
There's 12 or something million people here under that circumstances.
But he's back in 2018. We're going to do a big tour all across the States. And we play together in Canada, Australia.
He's allowed to
and
come
Europe.
back in 2018.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Mhm.
Why is that? What happens after 2018? Hey, when that's feeding back over.
There's a certain time of punishment.
Really,
you know,
there's like a
associated
statute
with-
of limitations on.
No, it's just like you're deported for this long. And then
I
you
didn't
can
realize
reapply.
that.
You know?
Really?
He reapplied after 5 and didn't get it, and 8 and didn't get it, and then 10 they're going to let him back in.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So Roberto Lutti's coming back in 2018.
Can't wait.
I mean,
Okay.
he's an international
someone- yeah.
sensation. He's playing all over the world. He just can't play in the States.
That is really insane, isn't
Isn't that
it?
hilarious? It's ridiculous.
That just proves that the immigration people aren't watching what's going on here. If he stayed 9 years on a 3-month visa,
Yeah, and you know, and think of all the people that are allowed here, or they're slipping through the cracks, that are not
a lot of cracks.
serving
How
the
did he-
community as much.
how
So
did
many
he-
people miss him and miss
How did
his
he get caught?
artistry.
Do you know how he got caught?
I don't know. I mean, he had a friend who was violating parole, who was living with him at the time, and they came looking for him and
Okay.
asked everyone for
I think
IDs.
they the immigration probably went to Ludi.com and saw his tour dates and said, okay, I think we can get him here, here, or here.
But you know, tons of people have been deported.
Yeah.
Anders
every day.
Osborne. Anders Osborne was deported. I've been deported. It's not like you can't get back in normally. I got back in. Anders got back in.
Yeah, he'll get back in eventually too.
Yeah, that is really rough though. That you have to wait till 2018.
Yeah,
Poor guy.
Yeah.
So you
And
get to
he's a
see him
great-
at least. Where's he living?
He lives in Livorno, which is in Tuscany. And
Well, that doesn't sound all that bad.
it's not. We tour there all the time. It's great. And he lives in Sardinia a lot in the wintertime.
Okay, so pretty. Yeah, hey, have some of Alison's Christmas cookies here. Go ahead, please. So now wait till Renee takes a bite, then I'll ask her a question.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for.
So Renee, it says here that it's, as long as this is what they gave me. As far back as Renee can remember, he always wanted to be a cartoon character.
I wanted to do cartoon character voices.
Okay, you didn't want to be a
And-
cartoon character.
No, I want to do their voices.
Can we
Okay.
hear something?
But, well, like what? Let's see, Daffy Duck? Or
Yep.
Whatever
Daffy.
you think you're best at.
That's all, folks. Well, I would do new characters, not, stuff that's
Okay.
already
What do you got?
done.
What do you got?
Yeah.
Huh?
What?
Well, I haven't done any yet, so
Uh-huh.
it's a new thing for me. But it's just a lifelong dream that has yet to be realized. So.
Nice.
Where, did you do this in the shower?
No,
You didn't.
I would read
So
stories
how do you
to
know you
people.
can do it?
I don't. I
Oh,
don't know.
What are you talking about?
But I know I can do audiobooks, and that's what I'm here to talk about. I'm here
Not
to plug
so
my
fast.
audiobook. Not so
What
fast.
made you think you can be a cartoon character?
I don't know that I thought I could do it. It was a desire.
Why?
Yeah.
Of all things in life, you could have been a tiger girl.
You think?
I don't think he's got what it takes.
No, the outfits wouldn't work for me.
Put your makeup away.
Better? All right.
That's good.
That'll sound good.
So, but what gave you the idea that you wanted to do cartoon characters? Were you watching
Well,
TV
yeah, I
as a
watched
kid? or
cartoons
something?
as a kid and just loved to hear the crazy voices they came up with. You know, all those characters back when I was a kid. You know, they had people like Mel Blanc who did tons of different voices. And I'm not at my best today. Thank you, New Orleans weather in
Yeah, me
December.
too.
But, you know, it was always a dream.
What sort of weather makes you have a good voice?
Not weather that changes every day or every
Yeah.
other day. You know, it's allergies and
Messes you up?
sinuses. Yeah, it goofs me up.
It's
Bad.
the changing that's weird.
It
Like my
is,
voice,
yeah.
I'm so deep right now. I'm a tenor. You know, sound like a dude just because the weather.
Do you?
I think so. I
I
think
know
if
about
if people weren't watching, or they're not watching, they're hearing.
Mm-hmm.
But if they didn't know that this was a woman speaking, I'm not sure if they would pick up on it. Worry.
I'm not sure what's
They-
going
they
on in
know.
your headphones. What drugs are you on today?
They know. They know.
Just alcohol.
Just whiskey.
And you think you sound like a
and
guy?
little weed. No, I just think I have a really. What I can tell.
You have a
in my
husky.
voice
You
is-
have like
You
a
have
sort
a
of a
husky
husky
voice.
voice,
Deep,
but that's sort
yeah.
of a sort
She's
of
got a
sexy
whiskey
sound.
voice.
Whiskey.
Cheers.
That's what you're drinking, whiskey?
Yes.
That's your drink of choice?
Right now, yeah. It's like it changes every few months. I think.
Yeah. Like the weather. So anyway, Renee, so
So it's a dream. It's an unrealized dream.
really?
Yes.
Okay, so why is it the first thing on this bio they give me here that says that I guess, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
It was just a dream, childhood dream.
And what are you doing about it? Because I went to your website today,
Yeah.
just before we came on here.
Renee,
And,
Renee'sVoice.com.
Renee'sVoice.com. And there's a whole lot of
Little demo
demos.
clips.
Yeah, not one of them works.
No?
No, not one.
It must be your
I clicked
computer.
on all of them.
Must be your computer.
Is it my computer
Yes.
so screwed up? Because I couldn't tell. So what do they say? What are they?
Well, one's a commercial demo. One's a couple of audio book demos.
Commercial demo.
Commercial demo.
You could be able to do a little commercial demo for us right now if
I
you'd
could
like.
do that for you. What do you want me to say?
I'm going to give it to you
I'll
right
say
here.
it for you.
Okay.
It won't be the best, of
Do you wanna-
course, but
We'll give you some background music. Andrew will play a little something for you.
play me in, yeah.
Okay. And then all you have to do is read these messages. Put your glasses
Like
on.
right after these these words.
No, these are yeah. We'll be right back. Well, we'll be right back talking about how to get yourself off Prozac right after these messages.
Sponsor messages brought to us today by Petite Pet Care. If you're going out of town or have a crazy schedule, the folks at Petite Pet Care will take care of your pet in his or her own home. For loving care when you're not there, go to petitepetcare.com.
Pretty good for a cold read, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like a prayer home companion in here.
It does.
Okay, we have more. By Basics Swim and Gym, a full range of fashion swimsuits, workout, and yoga clothes with style. Basics Swim and Gym is on Magazine Street near Jefferson Avenue. I like the background. By Hangover Destroyer. We'll all need that tonight, I think, or tomorrow. The only all-natural product medically proven to prevent a hangover. Oh, too late. Go to the Hangover Destroyer website, hdhdestroyer.com, write happy hour in the coupon code, and get 30% off Hangover Destroyer and seize the dawn.
Bravo.
Very nice. You got the job.
Thank you. All right, I'll take it.
So we can use
What does
that
it pay?
recording. You just have a free drink, right?
Oh, okay.
Wayfair pays all their bills.
Wayfair pays. Great.
So
Thank you.
we can keep that from this show and use it in every other show and never pay you
No,
a
no,
You
penny.
have to pay him.
I won't get it. I won't
Pay
get
your
it.
penny.
I had my drink, and that's
And
it.
welcome to the entertainment
one
industry
drink.
you're in now.
My one drink.
But you did do the voice for this book, though.
Yes,
the
I did.
Holy Mark by Gregory Alexander,
The
who was
Holy
on our
Mark.
he was on our show.
He was, and
that
he
guy.
was the one that
Remember him?
recommended me be on the show.
Oh,
but
okay. And he told us all about that book.
He
that he
told
just
you-
written it. He just published it.
Right.
And then soon after he published it, Anne Rice apparently.
Anne Rice somehow got a
Read
hold
it.
of it,
Yeah.
and she read it, and because there's a lot of New Orleans references, she loved it. And she knew a guy in Singapore who's an American expat who she told, you need to buy the audio rights to this book. So Todd Barcelo of, what's the name of his company?
Singapore.
Singapore.
Todd Barcelo from
It's
Singapore.
Auspicious Apparatus
Google him.
Press. He bought the rights, and Greg and I were Facebook, not even friends, we had a mutual friend, and somebody congratulated him about the Anne Rice love, and I wrote back to him on Facebook and said, who knew you had talent? I said, no, seriously, congratulations on the Anne Rice
This is a
book.
guy you don't even know.
No, I knew him. I knew him personally.
know.
We just weren't Facebook friends. So he calls me.
You're friends in real life, not on Facebook.
Right. Well, both.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can. It's still possible. So I wrote him an email and said, hey, I have a talent too. I narrate audiobooks, and I've narrated books for WRBH, the radio station for the blind and print handicapped, for a number of years now. So he calls me and he says, oh, I just sold the rights to this guy, Todd Barcelo, in Singapore. And he said, if you contact him, you can audition for the book. So I contacted him, auditioned for the book, and he liked me, Greg liked me, and I was hired, just like that.
This is a whole world that we don't know anything about.
whole
There's a whole
new
world
world.
of people buying audio rights. So the audio rights for a book are separate from
Yes.
everything else.
Yes.
So there's movie rights and
Right.
whatever. Now there's audio rights.
Audiobook rights.
So people buy the audio rights. So they
produce the
presumably
books,
then
yes.
Todd Barcelo in Singapore buys audio rights, and then he makes the audio. Then he make the audio. He hired you.
He hired
paid
me.
you.
Right.
And then he sells the book.
Amazon.com,
Yeah.
Audible.com.
Yeah,
actually
but all
sell the
that
book.
stuff where you buy books
Yes.
on tape or whatever they're
Correct.
called now. I think they're still quaintly called books on tape, actually, even
Yes,
though
and
nothing's
there's
on
no
tape,
tape
at all.
involved anymore.
But so all those people, that the author doesn't get that money. It's like music publishing, I guess.
Right.
You
He sells
sell-
the rights and he's out of it at that point.
Well, I never knew that.
He doesn't get another dime.
Is that right?
Yes.
Holy shit!
But
Did you
Todd-
guys know that? That's very interesting.
Todd bought the rights based on Anne Rice loving the book and recommending
Right.
that he buy the rights to it. So thank
Okay.
you, Anne Rice.
So that's good. So you get one-time fee as well. You don't get royalties every time someone listens to it.
Well, it depends. There's a website called ACX, which is the Audiobook Creation Exchange, and it's an Audible.com company, and that's how the narrators and the authors get together on these audiobooks. And you can either get a royalty or you can get an upfront payment. And I, luckily, thankfully, got both. So that's very unusual to get.
So you're just
an
starting out
upfront
on this,
payment.
or you've been
my
on
first-
reading radio for the
I've
blind?
been on WRBH. It's my first paying job.
That's
Paying
radio for the
gig, yeah.
blind and print handicap.
Yes,
You called it.
88.3 FM in New Orleans.
Do they call? Is that the official title? Radio for the blind and print handicap.
Yes, that is.
And what does print handicap mean? It means you can't
If you
read.
can't see enough to read.
And what is the difference between blind and print handicap? Exactly?
Well, I guess blind people can't see anything, and print handicapped people just can't see enough to read a word on a page.
Could it mean
I'm
also that they
assuming.
couldn't read? Would that
Oh, you mean
possible too.
illiterate? you
Yeah.
mean.
just wondering?
They should call
it's
it
possible,
WRBH Radio for the Blind and Illiterate.
They could add that to the end. Blind,
Print handicapped and illiterate.
But then print handicap's kind of just in the middle, and you're like, what is?
But
You
even
know,
What
what
is-
side does it
Even
go
if they
to?
add that to the sign, the illiterate won't know.
Oh,
You know, so
But an interesting thing about that
I didn't
radio
think about
station
that.
is a lot of people that have sight listen to it, because I worked with some people back in the day, and they came to me and said, hey, I heard you on WRBH. And I'm like, you're not blind? And they're like, no, we listen to the news or books or whatever.
Yeah,
And
I listened to it.
There's a lot of sighted folks
Yeah.
that listen to it. So.
I listen to it, and I've got 20/20, except for these
20/20?
fucked
Yeah.
up glasses that I have to wear. But you listen to it too, Luke, right?
I do, yeah.
It's pretty. It can
very
be.
good,
It can be interesting. The interesting part is the people reading the newspaper, which I don't know if they still do that. Do they still do that? You said that was the first 2 hours in the morning.
They
when
read it
I
in
read
the
the
morning.
newspaper.
They
You
read it
read
in the
the-
morning, and they read it. They read the news at noon. And one day I went in there to normally they record what you read and play it back later. One day I walked in close to noon, and they said, "Would you like to read the news live?" And I'm like, "Sure," because that normal lady, backed out or didn't show up or whatever. So they're like, "You okay with this? It's going to be live." And I'm like, "Sure." I'm talking to a microphone. I don't know how many people are listening to it, so. I did it, and they were all cool with it. And they said, "Would you like to do it again in the future?" And I'm like, "Sure, just call me, let me know, give me some notice." So they most of the shows are not live, but there are some,
So
like you said,
the newspaper, the person reading today's news,
is doing it
they
live.
that is live.
Right.
No, most of it's not live. Most of
No,
it's
most
just
of it's
reading articles
recorded,
out of
yeah.
magazines or
Correct.
books or whatever. Right.
And
Okay.
books.
Whoa, what is that?
Grant
your
got the
phone.
first text
Did I get a text?
you did.
or a call.
Who's it from? Let's have a look and see. Stephanie.
We're going to pause the show.
Stephanie Regal says, I really need an idea for a promo tomorrow. I'm stuck.
Oh,
We could help her with
Okay.
that.
I mean-
okay.
I can
Promo
read
for
it
what?
for you. If
You
want.
could. She
Or
has
you
to
can-
do a promo for guys who are property developers in Baton Rouge, so I'm not sure how interesting that.
Here's my card. I'll give you a card.
Hand it over. What does it say? Cartoon voices. Renee Maggio, let me tell your story. Hey, cool. All right, very nice.
Cheers.
Okay, and it's got a QR thing code. And now that's one thing that I cannot believe is still around. Does anyone
Really?
use these little black and white
It's
QR?
taking off.
Taking off.
Really? You
Is
think
it?
it's-
Yeah, they haven't caught on yet.
It's never going to catch on, though, is it?
It will.
Are you from the future? Is that why you're
Yes,
saying
I do happen to know that that'll never catch on. Look, do you believe these QR codes are the way to go in the future? They've been around for like how many years now? They have not caught on.
They'll catch on soon.
I'm all
He knows.
for.
He's so confident.
You're in for. You're
I'm,
for
I'm
it.
for
Okay,
the
I'm
forwardness of it, but I don't know how to use it.
You've
How
got
do
to
you
take
use it?
your phone camera at
Phone
one point
camera.
and point it at this thing and make sure that the little yellow squares on your phone exactly line
What
up
little yellow squares?
when you put the camera thing and tell it you're looking for a QR code.
Oh well,
search.
how do I tell it to look for a QR code?
I think you have to, I don't know. Good question. Luke.
You don't have a
I think
flip
it's
phone,
Apple's fault.
Apple.
Yeah, they gotta make it easier for us to
Yeah.
accept
Exactly.
QR
This is
codes.
Andrew doesn't even know what it is.
You normally have
Well,
to download
it's-
an app for it
it's
on
an app,
Android. I know
okay.
that. Yeah, there's an app.
Right.
special
So why
app.
would you put it on your business card?
Because I'm looking for the
blind people.
forward-thinking for blind people. That's not for blind people. That's
Okay, this is for
sighted
sighted.
people, yeah.
It doesn't seem it's not raised or anything.
It's
Do you
like
have a braille?
Well, why would I need a card for a volunteer job, Grant?
I don't know.
Because that's not the volunteer card. That's the
Okay, this is
pay
for
me
your
money
real.
card.
Okay, Renee's voice. Okay, so anyway, it has got a QR code. I don't know. Where did you come up with this idea for the QR code? Whose idea was that?
The website I created the card on, that was an option they gave you, and I
Aha.
said, why not?
That's it. Okay, so this is your QR code in perpetuity.
Yes, it is.
So we can follow you around forever.
It
okay,
will.
so if
It
you've
takes
got
you
this
to my
QR
website,
reader,
reneesvoice.com.
reneesvoice.com. All right, very good. Hey, talking of voices, do you guys want to play a song, Andrew? And
well, how about we let Luke play us a song, and
Okay.
then we'll play a song together after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's what we're going to do then. Exactly.
I'm ready.
Luke, what are you playing? Luke, tell us what's going on. So you're making a new record. Is this number 3?
I'm making my 5th solo album.
5th. Oh
Yep.
my God! Did I miss 2?
You missed the first 2. They're out of print.
Oh, they're gone. That was before.
Yep, I released a self-titled album in 2007,
Okay.
and then I released an album called Old New Baby in 2009.
Were you here? Were you living here then? Still?
Yep, I recorded at Preservation Hall.
Okay.
2008, released it in 2009.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, the first one I came in was that one after that was called
The Coming Tide.
The Coming Tide. Yeah.
Yep, and that was my first one on a label.
Oh, that's the one I remember. Okay, so that's what I thought was the first one, and then there was after that.
It was one called Everlasting Arms.
Yeah.
And I had a few different projects. There were like, EPs, shorter records in between. And now I'm working on a new album called I'm So Glad Trouble Don't Last Always that's coming out next year.
Well, next year we're talking about 2016.
That's right.
What time of the year? Where could we?
It's going to come out sometime spring, summer, or fall.
Okay, that's good.
But not the winter.
That's a good target, and it's going to be available everywhere music's stolen.
Yeah, yep. Independent record stores all over the world. Yep.
Is it? Are you on Spotify and all that sort of thing
Yes,
as well?
sir.
Okay.
Yep. Luke Winslow King. Yep. You can find me there. But I have this old song. I don't want to share any of the new stuff. I don't want to blow it. I'm going to come on the show before the album comes out and play that stuff.
Okay.
But I want to play an old song that I keep making new renditions of. This one was on that album Old New Baby I was telling you about. And it's an old song of mine that I keep making new renditions of. You get tired of it after a bit. You ever do that, Andrew?
Yes.
Where you're like, man, I still like this song. I just don't like the way I play it.
Yeah.
I want to try something a little different.
Yeah.
So this is one of those. It's called Never Tired. It's about being tired of the daily grind. Well, I'm so tired, tired as a tired, as a retiree. I'm tired as mud, tired as cut, tired as a memory. I'm tired as switch, tired as a snitch, as a bullet to a schoolyard snitch. I'm tired as slop, tired as a mop, tired when you came to me, pretty baby, as tired as I may be. I hope you'll never tire of me, pretty baby. I'm tired as a fool can be. I hope you'll never tire of me. I'm tired, honey, I'm so damn tired. It's a death that's due. I get tired in a worn-down traveling shoe. I'm tired as a king is to cool. I get tired as a cowboy is a stew, as a captain to his crew. Tired as a beggar is of his grime. I'm as tired as a poet to his rhyme. Tired as a rut, tired as a bone, sick and tired of being alone. Tired as a widow is to weep. There's a broom to sweep. I'll never, never tire of your lips. I'll never tire of your kiss, pretty babe. I'll never tire of your arms. I'll never tire of your charm. Tired as a blues man's blues, tired as a drunkard's jig. I get tired as a junkie to his rig, tired as a hill of beans. I'm tired as a sinner's deeds, I'm tired as a boxcar train. Tired of this old refrain, honey, I may be tired as money. I'll never tire of you, honey, no. I may be as tired as a Roman road. From you, I'll never roam. I'm tired as a horse to his bed. I'm tired of the same old shit. I'm tired of the straight and narrow. I'm tired as a wandering sparrow. And I'm tired, honey, I'm so damn tired. As a retiree, I'm tired as mud, tired as cut. Tired when you came to me, that's true. I'm never tired.
Fabulous.
Thank you, thank you.
Winslow King. Oh my God. Okay. Chris, can you turn that up? Okay. Oh my God, that is a great song. How's it different from the last version that you did? Other versions?
It keeps getting faster. I've changed a lot of the lyrics. I added the harmonica solo. I used to play it in like slide guitar, more bluesy, and now it's a little bit more country.
It sounds a little bit more country.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit country. Is it sped up? Did you say?
Yeah, it's a little faster.
And what speed did it used to be at?
I'm so tired. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you like it faster now?
It depends on my mood.
Yeah.
I actually kind of going for like Woody Guthrie kind of style on it.
It's cool. It's really like. What did you think, Valley, as an aspiring songwriter?
I liked it. You remind me of Johnny Cash.
Cool.
Wow.
Thank you.
Doesn't get much better than that.
You're right.
I would
Johnny
say.
Cash is great.
You couldn't be able to. That's a pretty great compliment. That's cool. How do you remember all those words? Is there a trick to that?
Yeah, I have a few different tricks. I repeat them over and over. I write them down. Usually by the time I write them down, I have them memorized.
Yeah.
Really?
Something about writing it helps you memorize it. Mm-hmm. But I change the lyrics all the time, too. I rewrite that song pretty often.
You do?
Yeah.
What do you change the tired as similes?
Yeah, there's some different ones in there, yeah.
There's some. That's amazing.
I think
number
the
of
first
verses.
time that I went to DVA and stumbled upon Luke playing a show, he was playing that song. So, yeah, I remember that. I remember some other tired as, in fact. I remember tired as a racist joke like that one.
Yeah, tired as a racist joke that's not in there anymore.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good line too.
Yeah. When I first wrote it, there was a really naughty lyric in there that I can't say usually on the radio, but we're on a podcast.
Yeah, you can say it.
I originally wrote tired as a bad pimp's bitch, which is like not okay to sing.
Oh, you gotta put that back in. That's
think
so
so?
good. That's what people are gonna love it.
Cool. Maybe I'll think
Absolutely.
about it. I'll think about putting that back in.
Like just with the new style, now that it's more folky country, that
Yeah.
needs to be in there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool.
What did it rhyme
Valley
with?
I'm tired as a horse. I'm tired as a switch. Tired as a stitch. Tired as a bad pimp's bitch.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
I love that.
Do you write these on the road, or do you sit at home and write all the stuff?
I actually
or
wrote
what?
that song on a bus, on a city bus in Rome. That's so there's a couple lyrics about being in Rome in there too.
And do would the writing it on a bus like that give it that?
Well, it definitely has that
Some
kind
of
of
that
ambling, like back and
rollicking,
forth.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of an ambulatory kind of a vibe to it when you
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
it's-
just it's kind of the old rambling alliteration song where it's just like the rhymes just keep rambling and it's like this is to that and this is to that and it just kind of keeps going.
It sounds like an old classic of some sort.
Yeah, that was what I was going for. Woody Guthrie has some songs that are definitely similar to that, in that like rambling kind of style.
Do people cover your songs?
I do. I get like YouTube alerts of 'em, and I find I have a few different covers of my songs floating around on YouTube, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
That
I'm
is
sure
super
Andrew's gotten a
cool.
few of them too.
Yeah, just a few, but that is like one of the coolest things. Just see like a young kid like play your
Yeah.
song. So cool. Yeah.
That's
How,
nice.
how do you get a YouTube alert about that? How do you
I don't
sign
know.
up
Luke's
for
got to
that?
tell me about
We
that.
just do like Google alerts.
How
You know
do
about
you get
that?
that?
Like
No.
anytime you can have Google email you anytime that your name and a certain word is posted on anywhere on the World Wide Web.
So
So
anytime
if-
someone says Luke Winslow King
And YouTube in the same sentence,
and
they email
YouTube.
me.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
Yeah.
And how does one sign up for that?
Go to Google Alerts.
Do you know about that, Andrew?
I didn't know. I mean, I feel like I should have known about that.
It's a good way to know,
Yeah.
like if there's an article that comes out about you that you don't know about.
Yeah.
You know, it's good.
Now you know.
I have
No, I know.
Or if anything comes out about like harmonica repair that
Yeah.
week, there's like a new article.
Oh, so
Bro-
you can
broken
get it about
reeds.
anything. Obviously, it doesn't have to have your name on it. It can be a Google alert about anything you're interested in.
Exactly.
So if there's an article about Hawaiian shirts, and I want to know about it, oh, wow.
You are
That's-
wearing a very nice Hawaiian shirt today. I'd like our listeners to know.
Yes. Well, no, actually, Renee's wearing a very
Oh no, you
delightful Hawaiian shirt.
December in New Orleans.
Yes. Yeah, you're wearing a Hawaiian shirt in December in New
In
Orleans.
honor of the weather.
It is insane. It is like Christmas in Hawaii.
It's beautiful.
It really is. Andrew, you want to play something as well while we're
Well,
sitting around here?
Luke and I,
Christmas?
we don't get to see each other too much, but Luke had the great idea to play a little song together, so we play an old gospel song. This is a Sister Rosetta Tharpe song.
Okay.
On a day with no rain, it goes something like this. Up above my head,
above my head.
I hear music in the
I
air.
hear music in the air.
Up above my head, I hear music in the
I
air.
hear music in the air.
Up above my head,
Up above my head.
I hear
I
music
hear music
in the air. Really do believe, I really do believe there's a joy somewhere. Well, all around this room,
All around this room.
I hear music in the
I
air.
hear music in the air.
All around this room,
All around this room.
I hear music in the air.
I hear music in the air.
Up above my head,
Up above my head.
I hear music in the air. I really do believe, I really do believe there's a joy somewhere. Go ahead, Luke. Now all around this town,
All around this
I
town.
hear music in the air.
I hear music in the air.
All around this town,
All around this
I
town.
hear music in the air.
I hear music in the air.
Up above my head,
Up above my head.
I hear music.
I hear music
in
in
the
the
air.
air.
I really do believe, I really do believe there's a joy somewhere. Up above my head,
Up above my head.
Lord, I hear music in the air. I really do believe, I really do believe there's a joy somewhere. I said, well, I really do believe, I really do believe there's a joy somewhere. Oh, well, I really do believe, I really do believe there's a joy somewhere. Oh,
Hey, it's Andrew Duhan singing for you.
that's Luke
Wow.
on that dobro.
What a treat! That was one of the greatest things we've ever done on the show, I think.
That's Luke, y'all.
Don't you think?
That is
You
one
guys are
musical
great.
Bastard.
Thank you. First
Man.
time through. First time through. That was fun.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Valley, what do you think of that one?
I also like that. Thank you very much. That was
Renee?
good.
I'm glad I was here for it.
Isn't that great? That was a
Awesome.
very special moment,
Beautiful.
guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good job.
Sister Rosetta Tharpe, who exactly was she?
You gotta check her out, man. Go to YouTube and check out Sister Rosetta Tharpe. She's like a, middle-aged black woman in a choir robe and a Gibson electric guitar just rocking your
Love
face
it.
off.
Badass devil horns Gibson guitar.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even have the nuts to play that kind of guitar, and she just owned that stuff.
And where's
you know?
she? Was she from the South somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Christian lesbian gospel rock and roller from the 50s.
Oh yes.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Was she an out lesbian back in the 50s?
I don't know if she wasn't like, not like the Indigo Girls out or anything like that, but like, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sister Rosetta Tharpe. Well, that is definitely worth checking out.
She's
Now,
awesome.
listen, Valley, I wanted to ask you this because we've mentioned it a couple of times now, and there's a lot of people listening to the show. Well, there aren't actually, but there's like 3 people listening. But suppose there were. The number of people listening to the show would like to know, I'm sure, if you've achieved this, how you got yourself off anti-anxiety or antidepressant medication.
Oh,
How have you done that?
a lot of research. I read. Here's the thing. So I knew once I started reading a lot of, I guess what most, traditional people would call conspiracy theory shit. But
Conspiracy
a lot.
theories about antidepressants?
I wouldn't call it conspiracy theory. I would call it complete fact. It's. I
You
read
did say
all of the
conspiracy.
medical. Most people would. They call a lot of people think
What
I'm a
is the
conspiracy
conspiracy
theorist,
theory
but
around
the
antidepressants?
concept of psychopharmaceuticals, of pharmaceuticals in general, and America, and how they started and why they started.
Okay, what's the
idea
what's
of
the,
a-
what's
so-
the conspiracy?
The idea of a magic bullet is not a conspiracy, but a lot of
Okay,
people,
well,
because of what
what's the
common
myth?
thought is, people think what the government says and what the doctor says is right, and it's always right, and it's the only answer, it's the only way, right? But if you read into it and you actually looked at what, NAMI and NIMH have actually even admitted about the research they've done and the research and the things that they have not found, and they admit that they haven't found, you look at it and you realize, like, this is just an option that the doctors can give us, and mostly they're going to give us the option that makes them the most money. So if you look into it and you realize that a magic bullet was created, Thorazine was created for tuberculosis, but it's the same drug that they're giving people with hallucinations, that doesn't make any fucking sense. So I read a bunch of shit. I kind of went crazy on it. I was still medicated, and I knew that I needed to learn as much as I could with the medicine that was stabilizing me, and learn enough to where when I got off the medicine, I was had enough information in me to deal with the withdrawals, because it was a lot of that.
Are you suggesting that information alone, that knowledge will cure you of anti-anxiety or
No, not at all.
whatever?
No,
mental
not at all.
illness?
But the information is what I needed to know that I'm not. So I was diagnosed with all this mental shit, right? Which I don't necessarily. I believe in mental disorder. I believe in mental illness and pain and all that stuff.
How did
but
you
I
get
don't.
diagnosed? What symptoms were you exhibiting?
So I was diagnosed with, for instance, bipolar years ago, depression, insomnia, anything you can imagine, because they give you one diagnosis, they put you on a medication, that gives you another fucking problem, so then they diagnose you with
Right.
something else and give you another medication, and it was just a really bad cycle for me for a lot of years. And so I knew that I was dependent on the drugs, because when I would get off of them, I would have really, really horrible physical withdrawals where I was just so sick for a really long time. So I did a lot of research, and I researched enough, and I looked into a lot of homeopathy and a lot of holistic approaches to everything. And so when I finally decided that I was going to get off the medicine, it was really, really hard. But I had my sister and my roommate that I told them, I'm getting off of all this shit. I started just slowly taking away the doses.
Mm-hmm.
I upped my intake of marijuana. I upped my intake of meditation, yoga, prayer, 100%. Absolutely, my understanding of my spiritual self, for sure,
Who are you
helped me.
Who are you praying to?
My God.
Okay, just a regular God. No?
God, for sure. Well,
Not some alternative religion.
no, I believe I'm a Christian. I don't necessarily believe in the sectors of religion. I think the cause of man-made religion is the reason for the most terror in the entire world. But I believe in a spiritual connection with a God, and I think that understanding that holistic approach, that I am a mind, a body, and a soul all together, is what saved me from just thinking, my mind is separate from my body, my soul doesn't exist. Take this fucking medicine and come back when it doesn't work.
So you're praying to God and you're smoking more weed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. And
Weed decreases
and meditating?
Oh yeah, meditating a lot. Weed decreased my mania. So with bipolar, if I got off the medicine, because of the medicine made me. It caused it. The medicine literally caused me. If I got off the medicine, I'd be more manic than I ever was, right, or more depressed than I ever was, and I didn't start hallucinating until after I was medicated. So then I knew this is bullshit. I wasn't ever hallucinating until I started taking this shit. Now I'm seeing things. It's great. And I'm actually watching myself turn into a schizophrenic. I watched it all happen.
What were you seeing? What hallucinations did you
Oh,
have?
no comment. We can talk about that later, but I don't want to talk about that.
Hydrocodone does that to you.
No,
But what, are you seeing things that don't exist, or are you seeing things like you're on acid,
Oh, it wasn't
seeing
fun
tables
tripping. It
moving,
wasn't fun
or-
tripping. I wasn't tripping. That's enjoyable.
So you're seeing stuff that doesn't exist at all. You're seeing like fabricated creatures, or
yeah, and it's something that I think that we're a lot more spiritual than well, I'm positive that we are spiritual beings, and people don't realize that, and they think everything is very tangible. But I saw a lot of demons. Like
that's
I
what I was wondering.
definitely
So
saw
you
a lot
saw
of
actual,
demons.
were they coming out of people, or were they existing
They would
among us as separate creatures?
separate creatures.
And so do you think they were really there and you were just able to see them, or do you think you were imagining all
That's what I'm still trying to figure out. But I know that I wasn't. I know that before, when I was medicated and I would see something, it was very stressful and crazy, and it would freak me out and it would fuck me up really bad. And then after, once I realized, like, you know what, I need to stop like ignoring the fact that I am fully spirit as I am body and mind, and I started really understanding that holistic association. I was able to, even if I was hallucinating or if I did see something, I was able to calm myself down and understand that maybe I'm extra clairvoyant, maybe I'm more perceptive. That doesn't mean I need to be medicated and drugged and turned into a drone,
Right.
because I can see things that other people can't see.
And can you currently see stuff like that?
Sometimes it's really up and down. My sleep patterns have a lot to do with it. I work really hard on maintaining stability and sleeping at the right hours, and you know what I'm saying.
So
I
if you
work
don't
on
get
it.
enough sleep,
Oh, you don't
can
want to
see
know. I'll fucking stay awake for. If I let myself stay awake for 2 days, I'm not sleeping for 2 weeks. Like, it'll kick in mania, and I'm just like, woo, flying like a motherfucker. And then it's bizarre, but it's so much more manageable when I realize that I'm a human being and God made me this way, and there are natural ways for me to take care of myself and deal with these things if I'm just aware of them, as opposed to, we're not going to tell you anything, just we have all these big words that you don't understand. I'm going to medicate this, then medicate that, then medicate that on top of it, and you don't even know like why it was.
you can't
Soulless.
figure out what you're actually treating.
I was
Soulless. That's a good word.
soulless when I was
okay,
medicated,
so
for sure.
So for people who are in this boat, the same as you, they're on anti-anxiety or antidepressant or
Right.
whatever these drugs that people are taking by the
Right.
tons now. So you got yourself off all this. Can you get yourself off all that without seeing the demons and going crazy? Is there a way? Would you say that you're staying off it now?
Right now, I'm just very adamant about my body. I eat organic, I eat clean. I don't put a bunch of shit that for some fucking reason the American government puts in our food or allows in our food that causes people to be fucking crazy. I don't eat that shit. Like,
So
I'm
that's
way
the-
too aware of everything that's I know I don't want to sound like a really negative conspiracy theorist, anti-government individual, because I'm not
The
necessarily.
government doesn't
but
have anything to do with any of this.
the laws, things that are allowed in our food, things that we're allowed to feed our children, the fluoride in the water, like all of that shit. I just went on like a huge kick towards it. Got all organic. I smoke weed instead of taking all this medication. Keeps me not manic. It allows me to sleep, and so if I don't fly, then I don't hallucinate. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
it like keeps me down.
So the
for
weed,
sure.
we keep coming back to the weed. The weed's the key factor.
Weed saved my life, 100% saved my
Weed
life.
saved my life, Chris. That's it.
Like, write it down,
Right.
quote it.
Quote
Weed
that.
saved
I'm
my
writing
life.
it down.
I
Weed
fucking
saved
telling
my
you.
life.
On a physical level, for my back, it's the only thing that can get me out of pain for like 2 hours. And on a mental level, like, it's the only thing that keeps me from not flying. That isn't gonna harm me in the future.
You
in
also
another way.
meditate, you said?
Yeah, a lot of prayer, a lot of meditation.
What type of meditation? What do you practice?
Well,
Anything
okay,
in
so
particular?
I
or-
created. Well, I don't think I created it, but this summer I kind of like did this amygdala therapy thing. I was reading a lot about
The
the different
summer's
parts.
been a pretty productive time for you.
I
Play
did
the guitar,
so much shit.
invented
Oh, yeah.
type of meditation.
Well, because I got off medicine, so I was like fucking because I am a genius, and they tried to take me down from it. You know what I'm saying? So I
Oh.
got off my medicine, and I was like, I'm a musician now, straight up. I've read 1,000 fucking books in a month, and I like.
So all the drugs were keeping you down.
Yes, they keep
It's
you
like the
complacent.
man.
They keep
Right,
you.
the
It's the man.
government.
Fuck the man, right?
Right.
Like, no, completely. So I got off all the medicine. I read so much shit, and I learned a lot about like your amygdala, neocortex, all the concepts between your brain and when something comes into your head, like what pathway it takes before you can react to it, essentially. And so I did this thing called amygdala therapy. I named it
Amygdala.
amygdala.
And that's a part of the brain.
Yes,
yeah.
that's the part. That's your part of your
little
brain.
almond.
That's like your feelings. Like that's like your reaction coming from like straight feeling, straight natural, habitual fight or flight responses to things, as opposed to a different route that information can take that might go through like a more logical, I guess, pathway through the neocortex, and then you can kind of rationalize something before you react to it. When something's intense enough, like if someone were to walk in here with a gun, we wouldn't have, our neocortex would not be working. It would be hijacked by our amygdala, and we would be working on a
Okay.
fight or flight response.
So
on
you're
how to-
trying to access that immediate kind of
that immediate
feeling,
reaction,
that
and
reaction.
learning how to control it a little bit more. And the way that I did it was I would set my alarm and I will sit and stare at something for 10 minutes and not allow a thought to come into my head. And if it comes into my head, I have to recognize it, figure out where it came from, push it away, and continue on trying to go a full 10 minutes with no thoughts penetrating my consciousness. And when in the beginning you can't do it. In the beginning, like every minute you're like, fuck, what am I thinking about? Like you keep thinking and you're trying to not think.
Right.
But after a while, after a lot of practice, you can go 10 full minutes without having a thought into your brain, and it really helps you be able to control those fight or flight responses when you,
Right.
call
Well,
me.
I've gone for years without an original thought, but that intention of trying to clear your brain and have no thoughts, that's just straight ahead meditation, right? That's what everybody says. You didn't invent that, did you?
No, I'm not going to say I invented.
So what was the bit that you created? What was the
Do you have some sort of mantra?
No,
you
I would do
repeat?
I would do 30 minutes. Yes, I do have a mantra, but I would do 30 minutes. The first 10 was not thinking. The second 10 was complete gratitude, just gratitude for what was there, as opposed to concentrating on what wasn't. And that seems very, very, very simple, but it's very important because a lot of people don't do it. You don't actively think about what you should be grateful for. You actively think about what you're lacking and what you need to continue to do in order to get what you want as a human in this society. And then the mantra was that I love myself, I respect myself, and I honor myself as I am right now in this moment. And that's it. Just so you can really love yourself now in order to grow and be what you need to be in the future, or want to be in the future.
and how are you feeling?
I feel fantastic. I mean, I'm great. I just made a movie about mental illness. It's like a huge accomplishment of mine.
We haven't even got onto that. We have to get out of here in a minute. But you're the star of this movie.
Yeah.
Called
What's
She
it
Was
about?
She Was Famous.
She was famous. It's a mental health awareness film.
It's a feature film. It's not a documentary.
No,
though, right?
feature-length narrative. Yeah.
It's an actual screenplay,
Yeah.
shot screenplay. It's a drama, or it's not a comedy, I assume.
It's actually a tragedy, but it's a very eye-opening, awakening, I think necessary.
And you're the star of it.
I am, yeah.
And the poster that I've seen of the movie is you naked, like bent over with a sort of a giant tattoo on your ass or something. Is that your real tattoo?
That is my real tattoo, but
Take a look at this, guys.
That's not the point of
Where
the-
can we see this movie?
Right now, it's
The
right
poster.
next to you. It's awesome looking.
Thank you, thank
What
you.
exactly is that?
I'm a
tattoo?
mermaid, I told
it's
you.
It's a mermaid.
It's my scales, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're an actual mermaid.
I'm an actual mermaid, yeah.
And what is the definition of that? What is a mermaid?
Did you have your tail removed?
No,
Or do
it's
you
more
just-
of a transitional thing. It's something that I can't do it right now.
So you're
you know what I'm
becoming
saying?
a mermaid?
can't do it
or
right
you're
now.
I
becoming a human?
actually morph into a mermaid.
You can
at
morph
certain
in-
times, 100%. And it's like, what do we do? She can't fucking walk now. You know what I mean? We have to get people to come pick me up because I've got this massive tail. It's inconvenient, but it's also magical and
Do
amazing.
you have photos of that?
No photos.
YouTube? Anything?
This
No,
has
no.
nothing to do
No,
with
I
your
can't tell
hallucinations,
people.
is it?
No, I'm totally
We just
fucking with
did.
you. I have a really badass tattoo on my butt.
You
and
really do.
That's
It's
it. Yeah.
What is it though? It's scales. It's green scales.
It's like I'm the mermaid, so it's my body, and then there's scales on my ass.
So it's just on your ass only.
Yeah.
Is it on both sides? Because in the poster you just see this on like.
No, and I'm actually in the fetal position on my husband's coffin in the poster. It's like really
Okay.
dramatic and
So that tattoo
poetic.
is really on you, or is that just for the movie?
No, that's actually on my ass at this
For
moment.
real?
in
Okay.
time,
So what
yeah.
made you do that?
I've always believed I was a mermaid my whole life. It
I
was
can't tell
not a
whether you're
question.
kidding or not. now.
No, I'm obsessed. Really unhealthily obsessed with mermaids. But so when I was 18, I was in Scotland and I got these scales, and then it was like that thing where anytime I was traveling or something monumental would happen, I would add on to scales in a different location in the world because then I don't know. It's like a growing tattoo. So the scales, if you look at them in person, you'll realize none of them are the same because about 6 or 7 different artists have patched them together.
So you've got them in different parts of the world.
Yeah. Well, not like, Scotland is the only place that was overseas, but then
Oh,
different
the
places.
country,
Yeah,
parts-
just like if
parts
I
of
was
the country.
traveling during the summer. I mean, I started it, I think, when I was 19 or something. I'm 23 now, so.
Okay. And
4
how
years.
do you pick the person to put the next scales on? Do you have to get
It's
a
whatever.
referral, or just get a vibe?
No, it's my mood, man. My mood.
So you're just
tells me
walking
all
down
of
the
it.
street, you think, I'm going to get this tattoo person to
Absolutely.
stick scales on my ass.
Well, it just depends. Like, if you meet someone, you're in that place. I mean, it's just my. I listen to myself.
And how many scales are you going to end up with? Like all down your legs, like a mermaid?
No, it's probably going to go a little bit higher on the hip and a little bit down the leg, but I want it to match because I have this grand plan for my tattoos on my body, so it's going to match. It has to match what's going to happen on the other side. So
And
we'll
what's going to
see.
happen on the other side?
Dreamcatcher.
Dreamcatcher.
Yes.
Like the American Indian
Yes.
style, like
That'd be
feathery
great.
thing.
We got a lot of stuff planned for the tattoos, but it's
So you
only
don't
gonna be-
believe you're a dream catcher as well, do you?
No.
Okay.
Well, kind of, yeah. I kind of fucking am. Whatever. Yeah, absolutely. I'm a dream catcher for sure.
Okay,
For
so
sure.
you're half dream catcher, half mermaid.
I like to command things into the universe, command them into existence. Say I'm going to fucking do this and believe it and like put it to a higher power and know that it's going to happen and it happens.
Well, so far in this last 9 months, you've started a movie.
Yeah.
You've taught yourself to play guitar and started a career as a singer-songwriter. Mm-hmm. And what else have you managed to achieve? As if that wouldn't be enough.
Well, I got offered to be the assistant coach for Tiger Girls Nationals this year, so I'm doing that right now too, which is my favorite.
That's an extra job.
That's well, yeah, but it's awesome. I mean, it's like
Is there like a mental health check for that job?
no,
There's no security
it's just
background
that.
check or
It's a good
anything.
feeling.
So
it's
you're
a good
in.
feeling. I like competing, so I like
Right.
coaching and training people to compete. So yeah, it'll be awesome.
And do you have a website or something if anyone wanted to get in touch with you about getting themselves off antidepressants and so on?
Absolutely. Well, I have.
How do we find you?
I have my Instagram, my Facebook, and my email. Is that enough?
I guess.
I'll
I
give
guess
you my.
that's enough.
I'll talk to anybody about mental health. I'm very passionate about it.
Okay. So what's your Instagram? I mean, we can put links to these on our website. It's neworleans.com
Instagram
if you're listening to this in some place
It's
that
at
you can't.
Valley Rich, and Facebook is Valley Rich as well.
Valley Rich, and it's spelled just like you think. VALLEYRICH. And neither of those are your real name, I assume, are they?
Right.
Right, okay.
Right.
How'd
Long
you come
story.
up with that?
Nom de plume.
Well, to be honest with you, Valley Rich. Okay, so I once had an alter ego named Susan McValley. She's dead now, but
Susan McValley was your alter ego who died.
Yeah.
What did she die from?
I can't tell you.
Really?
Not on this show. No way. It's really intense. She was
Well,
killed.
She didn't really exist.
Drug
in
She
real
was
life.
killed, but basically McValley had like a. She was like the concept of the word valley means a lot to me, and so like I didn't realize it when Susan McValley existed, but I took from it like the word valley. I think valleys people think are dry and desolate and empty, but in
No, they
reality,
can be lush
a valley
and
is the most.
verdant.
It's the luscious place there is because that's where all the growth is when
right.
you go through ups and downs. So the word valley has always meant a lot to me, and so I like to think of like a rich valley. Like you think of a down as this horrible place, but it's where the richness is and it's where the growth comes.
Oh.
Also, Valley Rich. So a lot of like stage names are 2 syllables, 1 syllable. Johnny Cash, Valley Rich. So yeah, thought about it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good choice. Do you ever tell people your real name?
No.
You don't have to. I mean, I'm not asking it, but I mean, do you ever use it, or do you just go by Valley Rich?
Oh, I mean, like my friends can call me my real name, but I mean,
Yeah.
as an artist, like as a way to produce myself, myself as an artist is Valley Rich.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Susan didn't have an overdose of all the medication you're on?
No, she didn't overdose. Surprisingly, she was a strong little girl. I mean, Susan's fucking wild, and sometimes she comes back.
McValley.
But yeah,
Wait, come back.
McValley.
She comes back from the dead?
You know, if McValley's here, it's bad. McValley loves gin. Weird. It's her drink of choice.
Gin
She's
is a
fucking-
dangerous drink to be messing around
She's
with.
fucking wild. Yeah, McValley's.
Okay.
She's cool.
So you have like a multiple personality, as well as.
I just don't know how else to explain like my many different attributes. I can't keep it all together. You know. Mm-hmm. So,
Wow. It's been great to meet you.
thank you.
I hope we get to see you again back on Happy Hour one
For
of these
sure.
days.
Thank you so much.
In the new year. And when is the movie coming out, by the way?
Well, right now we're actually kind of at the end of the game. It's in its final stages of editing with sound. They're finishing the sound right now, the scoring, and then we are actually planning on going to Sundance to meet with people for distribution and try to sell it.
Oh,
So
cool. So we can see it that She Was Famous. There's a trailer
There's a trailer
that features you.
Yeah. It's a funny trailer. It's
Yeah, it's cool.
honestly all
it's
improv.
like a lot of you to camera.
It's
stuff.
literally me and my friend just recording me. The girls that I made it with were a company called Ghost of Elysian Films. 3 women. My sister's one of them, and our best friend Kenna is the other. And we just
That was
made
your
a movie.
sister who was on the show called Moon.
Isla, yeah, Moon. That's my
Okay.
sis. She's wild. And
Okay, now it's all
Is that
coming
on
to-
YouTube?
and Kenna was on the show too. Kenna
Kenna's
did it
been
before.
on. The whole gang has been
yeah,
on here
and
now.
so the trailer's on
The trailer's
YouTube.
on
It's at www.shewasfamous.com,
We
or
need
you
to
can look at
we
it.
need to get a Google
It,
alert for that, Luke, I think.
She Was Famous.
She Was
teaser
Famous.
is on YouTube.
Teaser. The teaser's
And
on
then-
YouTube.
Yeah, the teaser's on YouTube, and then you can find the link in the bio at She Was Famous on Instagram or whatever. So
She Was Famous. Valley Rich, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
It's been a hell of a year here at Happy Hour.
Yeah.
What a great way to go out, I must say.
In
Thank you
style.
so much, Renee, as well. Renee
Thank
Major
you for
has been
having
here.
me.
And the fabulous Luke Winslow King. What a great way to end the year with
Thank
you.
you.
as well.
Thank you. Have a
so
happy New
much.
Year.
Yeah, you too. Everyone listening to us, I hope you have a great 2016 and stick around. There's more to come, and if you listen to this in 2016, I hope everything's going well for you. What can we do to end the year? Just read these credits and get out of here, I guess, right? You got a final message, Andrew?
I think you should have Luke play you something lovely, and
Okay.
you're right.
We should have Renee read the credits.
That's right.
Okay, we'll
Yeah.
do that. Renee, you ready to go with the credits? And we'll get Luke to play in the background. And that will be our farewell. Valley's already off out of here. She's got another.
She took off.
Yeah.
You gonna have
Okay.
some music behind this?
All right. Looking good.
Yep, getting ready.
Producer has been Graham DePonte.
Hang on, wait. No,
Oh,
wait. We wait till
gotta
the
wait.
music comes in and then, yeah.
Producer Graham DePonte. Associate producer and technical director Chris Kehoe. Musical director Christian Unruh. Theme music was written by and is being played by Mitch Foreman.
Well, that's not strictly correct in this case, but, you know.
If you'd like to be on the show, drop us a line. Our address is on our website. Check out our other happy hours and other shows. Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti live at Commander's Palace. True to the Game with Chris True, Midnight Menu +1 with Margot Moss, and The Man Who Ate New Orleans, Ray Canada. Louisiana Eats with Poppy Tucker, Milo's Music Parlor with Kim Vu, and the revolutionary new way to buy a house in New Orleans, Unlisted NOLA. You can also find other great Louisiana podcasts at itsacadiana.com and it's batonrouge.louisiana. Keep up with us on Facebook, Twitter, and a bunch of other time-sucking social media. On all of them, we're It's New Orleans. You can find photos from this show on itsneworleans.com and our Facebook and Google Plus pages. Those photos are taken by Allison Moon. If you're listening to this on iTunes, Stitcher, or another podcast app, thanks for subscribing. Take a moment to rate and review us. That helps other people find us. Recorded live at Wayfair on Ferret Street, where they put fine dining into a sandwich and fine booze into a glass. Good night. Thank you.
We'll see you back here next week on Happy Hour.
Let's be honest, there are tons of ways to send money back home, and every company promises me the same things: good rates and safe transfers. That's why it can be overwhelming to choose a new way to send money. I switched to Remitly because I can track my money every step of the way, which means I know exactly when my mom will get her money. And with their extensive payment network, my mom can receive her money in a way that is more convenient and safe for her. You should check it out. Go to Remitly.com or download their app to get started. Remitly Inc. is a licensed money transmitter by the state of New York, California, Massachusetts, and other states.